The engine roared, the dust settled, and there he was, Archie, crossing the finish line first, again. It felt like Archie never lost, and because of that, he had fans everywhere. One of those fans was a young guy named Z, our story's hero. Z didn't just want to watch Archie, he wanted to be like him. He dreamed of becoming a professional racer one day. But for now, Z didn't have a high-tech car. All he had was a tiny, beat-up scooter. He'd spend all day practicing his racing moves on it, zigzagging through the narrow village lanes. To be honest, his practice was a bit of a nightmare for everyone else. He'd caused more trouble than he did good, and the neighbors weren't exactly happy with his antics. But Z, he never let the complaints get to him. He just kept going. One day, while he was out there practicing, a girl noticed him. She was actually impressed by his skills. But just as they were about to start a conversation, Z's grandmother appeared out of nowhere. She was furious. She grabbed Z and hauled him back home. It was time for his daily meditation, something Z always seemed to forget in his excitement for racing. Z didn't really care for spiritual stuff, but his grandmother insisted. She told him, "This isn't just sitting still, Z. This meditation sharpens your mind. It teaches you to see the world in slow motion, even when things are moving at lightning speed." Deep down, her insistence came from a place of fear. Z's mother had been a racer too. She was passionate and brave, but her recklessness on the track had cost her life. The grandmother couldn't bear the thought of losing Z the same way. She wanted him to stay far away from the track. Despite his grandmother's warnings, Z couldn't resist. He found a local race and signed up. But there's a big difference between a scooter in an alley and a real racetrack. Lacking experience, Z lost control. His vehicle veered off the track and crashed hard. He didn't just lose the race, he lost his spirit. That's when he met Nash, a former racer and a race manager. Nash saw the heartbreak in Z's eyes and tried to comfort him. "It's just one loss, kid," he said. "You can always try again." But Z was too devastated to listen. He went home, and for a while, it seemed like the racing fire in him had finally gone out. The next morning, he was right there, sitting quietly and meditating with his grandmother. Suddenly, the ground began to shake. It wasn't an earthquake, it was bulldozers. A demolition crew had arrived to tear down the village to build a luxury hotel. And who owned the project? Archie. Z was shocked. This was his home. He rushed to Archie's mansion to plead with him. When he walked in, he saw walls covered in trophies. For a second, he was starstruck, but then he remembered why he was there. He begged Archie to spare the village, but Archie just laughed. He was cold and selfish. To him, the village was just a spot on a map for his next big paycheck. During their argument, Z realized Archie had won every race except one, the legendary Silk Race. In a moment of pure impulse and desperation, Z threw down a challenge. "I'll stop you from winning the Silk Race," Z declared. "If you win, do what you want, but if I win, you leave my village alone." Archie found it hilarious. To him, Z was just a brave little kid with no chance. He accepted the bet, mostly just to humiliate the boy. Back at the village, the reality hit Z. He had no car and no idea how to win a 4-day endurance race over dangerous terrain. Seeing him in despair, Nash stepped in. It turned out Nash was helping Z because Z's mother had been his closest friend. Nash got to work, restoring an old car with new parts until it was a beast of a machine. He showed Z old tapes, teaching him what to do and, more importantly, what mistakes to avoid. Z was a natural. With his talent and newfound focus, he was learning faster than anyone expected. But Archie was watching. Seeing Z improve made him nervous, so he hired a mystery person to distract Z from his training. The big day arrived. The starting line was packed with professional drivers, and there was Z, with Nash sitting right beside him as his navigator. As the race started, cars were spinning out and getting eliminated left and right. Z stayed focused. Along the way, they spotted a veteran racer known for cheating. A fight broke out between Nash and this cheater, and Z waited faithfully until Nash finished the fight before speeding off again. Then he saw her, the girl from the village. Her name was Shelby. She claimed her motorcycle had broken down. Being the kind person he is, Z stopped to help her. That delay cost him a lot of time. By the time he got back in the race, he was far behind. He drove like a man possessed, but he could only manage a 6th place finish for the first round. Archie, of course, took one first. That night, Shelby came to see Z. She realized Z wasn't racing for fame, he was racing for the lives of his neighbors. She felt a wave of guilt. She had been the one Archie hired to distract him. As they talked, they felt a real connection. Later that night, Z saw a bully, the cheating racer tormenting the other drivers. Z stepped in. Suddenly, everything went into slow motion. His grandmother's meditation training kicked in. He moved with perfect precision and defeated the bully easily. By the next morning, a video of his heroics had gone viral. The crowd wasn't just cheering for Archie anymore. They were chanting, "Z! Z!" The next round was a nightmare. Icy mountain slopes. It was slippery and deadly. Archie barely made it across, but the other racers got stuck. The cliffside was starting to collapse. Z had a choice, chase Archie or save the others. He didn't hesitate. He used ropes to tether all the trapped cars to his own and pulled them to safety, one by one. His grandmother saw this on the news, and her heart swelled with pride. He wasn't just a racer, he was a good man. Because of his rescue mission, Z finished 3rd, while Archie took 1st again. Archie was celebrating, but his family was livid. The wager with Z had gone viral, and if Archie lost, it would ruin their business reputation. They told him, "Lose this bet and you lose your inheritance." Archie got desperate. He blackmailed Shelby, reminding her of favors he'd done for her, and forced her to keep distracting Z. On day 3, in the rocky terrain, Archie pulled up next to Z and taunted him. "You think she loves you? She's working for me!" It was all a lie. Z's heart shattered. He lost his focus, but Nash yelled at him to keep his eyes on the road. Z hit the nitro, pushed through the pain, and actually won the round. But the victory was short-lived. The car had been pushed too hard. The engine overheated and exploded. Nash was furious. "You're just like your mother. You let your emotions take over," he yelled. They had a massive fight and parted ways. Z was so broken he decided to quit. Z actually went to Archie to surrender. He offered to be Archie's servant for life if he'd just spare the village. Archie just laughed and showed him Shelby, claiming she lived with him now. Z walked away, completely defeated. But hope wasn't gone. At the bus station, Z's grandmother met Nash. "He needs you now more than ever," she told him. Meanwhile, the other racers, the ones Z had saved, surrounded him. They encouraged him to finish what he started. Shelby appeared too, apologizing with tears in her eyes. She had left Archie for good. She and Z shared a beautiful moment, confessing their feelings for each other. With only 1 hour left, they didn't have a car. Nash and Shelby scrambled to find a vehicle, and Z's grandmother arrived to give him her blessing. The final race was intense. Archie cheated at every turn, trying to run Z off the road. They reached a section of the track that looked impossible to cross, a path of pure peril. But Z remembered everything: Nash's training, his mother's passion, and his grandmother's meditation. He pushed the car to its absolute limit. With nerves of steel, he navigated the impossible path, zoomed past Archie, and crossed the finish line first. The village was saved. Archie was ruined, facing the wrath of his father and brother. Z had turned his dream into a reality and protected his people. The story ends with Z, his grandmother, Shelby, and Nash all back in the village, celebrating a victory that was won not just with speed, but with heart.